Hi. He's Jason Weaver. He was staying up late last night watching this episode's anime.
Burn, you bastard! Burn!
And, I'm Trevor McCarty, and, Yay! You're awake!
Why aren't you on fire anymore?
What?
Nothing. Much like what just happened to me, waking up to face reality can be a painful thing that I am totally getting you back for.
It's especially shocking to Yuji Kaito, a gas station attendant in the faraway year of 2009, who goes into cryostasis after being diagnosed with a case of non-specific itis to await the day when a cure can be found for his ridiculous haircut. But when he wakes up, he finds out
Bad future! Evil bud! Setting!
Upon awakening, Yuji sees that the future holds no hot nurses waiting to greet him, but a race of gigantic bugs that have taken over the planet with their fearsome vagina mouths by killing humans, blowing them up into Cabbage Patch people, and eating them up. The only way to stop the bug monsters, known as the Blue, is to shoot the G-spot on their head. Before Yuji is made into a human faceball, a soldier named Marlene Angel pulls his soiled pants out of the line of fire and regroups with the rest of her unit. Naturally, Yuji thanks his rescuers by demanding to know just what the hell is going on.
During the 102 years ago Yuji was frozen, our forefathers brought forth themselves and millions of others being killed by the Blue. Some of humanity made it into a giant space station, and that's where they live now. But they send soldiers to their deaths back on Earth to find frozen people who pee themselves like Yuji, because the disease they were frozen for may be the last hope at taking the planet back from the Blue, and destiny, friendship, etc. Yuji doesn't take this news well, whining loudly and no doubt attracting more Blue to their location, about how he didn't want to be woken up into a world where at any second a bunch of Freudian bugs will bite his legs off.
Ignoring the complaining Cyberman's complaining, Marlene and her squad take Yuji to a launch pad where they intend to return to the space station, known as Second Earth, until a surprise Blue attack ruins their plans, driving them from the base and massacring most of the group. Yuji, fed up with being so very useless, requests to be trained in the ways of killing Blue before his milquetoast ways get what's left of his protectors digested by giant acid-spitting cockroaches. Marlene reluctantly agrees to let Yuji learn ungodly fast how to shoot guns and drive robots as they set off to the next nearest launch pad. This comes just in time as the rest of the characters we were just getting to know get killed in another Blue attack on their way through a city. I really don't understand this. Why bother introducing characters if you're just going to kill them off? How would you people feel if Storytimes got a new character and killed them shortly after?
Since Blue tend to attack more civilized areas, Yuji and Marlene take the longer but safer scenic route through the mountains, where nothing can kill them except gravity, disease, other people, and the scarce Blue that still pop up every now and then. During their misadventures, Yuji and Marlene begin to grow more as characters and develop a mutual attraction. Indeed, things start to look up when they get into space, and then Yuji gets stabbed by a corpse being controlled by a Blue, because the Blue can do that now, yanked away from Marlene for the research he was originally brought in for, while Marlene's superiors try to brainwash away the stupid notions of empathy Yuji instilled in her. Then a million children found out Santa isn't real at once while their parents all got into car accidents with each other and die slowly as racist millionaires dance on their corpses.
Marlene eventually breaks enough protocol to find Yuji and discover the truth behind what Second Earth's plans are for him and the other sleepers. Yuji's disease, known as B cells, have the potential to manifest as heightened combat capabilities against the Blue if put under the right conditions and put inside special robots that do just that. And if the pilots just happen to notice symptoms including, but not limited to, increased energy, sadism, and telepathic links with the Blue, well, that's probably nothing you need to concern yourself with. Marlene notices Yuji not noticing her anymore and suspects something must be wrong with him. Or maybe he just needs some freaking space, woman!
They are in space.
Shut up!
Yes, ma'am. Yuji now spends most of his time competing with monotone sleeper Tony to see who can kill the most Blue, while resisting the advances of jailbait sleeper Alicia. While they are sent to a bug hunt on Earth, Marlene learns the true story of where the Blue came from. Humanity was getting too overpopulated and burning through too many resources for Mother Earth to take anymore, so kindly old Gaia made the B cells manifest in life forms, causing them to eventually turn into Blue and start turning the human populace into an edible ball pit. Thus, overstimulating the B cells, causes the sleepers to essentially become another evolution of the blue and start thinking that they're onto something with that whole extinction of humans thing.
While Marlene's new scientist buddy, Seno Miyagi, starts a coup against the generic evil council running Second Earth, she heads down to First Earth to stop Yuji before he starts issuing population control out of his gun. But Yuji is already so overtaken by his B-cells, he sees Marlene as a threat to his mission that he can make go away. With death. So, in what is traditionally a tough phase for young couples, Marlene has to try and save her boyfriend from his crazy genes that will make him go join a bunch of bugs in the destruction of their species by having a robot duel with him. She is able to dismech him, but is it too late for Yuji's brain to start working properly again?
Of course not! He's a main character. Of course not! He's a main character! Marlene simply applies some second-base psychology, Yuji stops wanting to kill, and goes near catatonic from how bloodthirsty he was. All better. Unfortunately, no one was around to stuff Tony and Alicia's heads into some healing cleavage, so they returned to Second Earth, having smuggled several blue aboard their ship to finish off the rest of mankind. Yuji and Marlene return shortly after to try and talk some sense into the two, before Tony rams the medical station into the other station that will explode if the medical station is rammed into it. Negotiations fall through with the two self-proclaimed messiahs, and them being shot happens.
Once things settle back to normal, the now-in-charge Seno Miyagi declares that humanity will be living on Second Earth from now on, because the planet has made it very clear it doesn't want them back, and most of the survivors are cool with this. I mean, you'd have to be a complete idiot to want to return to Earth one more time and try to discover the reason you were born. Yuji then decides to return to Earth one more time and try to discover the reason he was born. He tells Marlene that he doesn't think mankind can survive in space, living on only what they can make. Why does he think this? Because this is the plot hole. So after he and Marlene make the blue with two backs, they and some future dead people head back planetside.
They discover that the blue have been disappearing from Earth, migrating underground and fossilizing, leaving only a Final Fantasy boss to try to kill Yuji, Marlene, and the ones it actually kills. Once it's been murdered to death, Yuji notices a magic Earth thing that he feels the need to enter, unsure if it will kill him or not. Marlene tries to get him to stay with her, citing that she is pregnant with their child, but Yuji must do this because destiny, friendship, etc. So Yuji goes on an earthly acid trip to see that humanity can indeed live in harmony with the planet, provided we never advance past an 18th century agricultural society and not overpopulate again. Or else. Yuji returns and embraces Marlene in front of a beautiful sunrise as the rest of Second Earth goes stir-crazy or something and starts blowing themselves up because they must be punished for not wanting to go back to a planet that bullies them into evolutionary submission. Being the only two characters that survived this series, let's take a look at Yuji and Marlene.
Yuji starts annoying and useless, but changes dramatically and realistically several times. Him taking a stand as the hero he must be, his mental breakdown as the soldier he is forced to be, and his search for why he lives while others must die do well to overshadow the few times his characterization is thrown out the window for the sake of the plot.
I have to know why I woke, because my purpose in this life can't be death.
From hard-hearted soldier to mother, Marlene's growth is very convincing. Having her regain her sense of humanity and use it to save Yuji just as he loses his own, along with her near-flawless gunmanship, really helps her stand out as a strong female character. That said, she loses a bit of this strength in the final episodes from a slight overdependence on Yuji, and if I had a dime for every time she shouted his name, I could afford slaves made out of diamonds.
I'm sorry I woke you into this world, but I'm glad. I'm glad the person I woke was you.
Blue Gender certainly has its faults, but it's not entirely without its merits. It captures the feel of the apocalypse it's set up very nicely with a sense of danger provided by the climbing body count throughout, and the characters that live develop very naturally the majority of the time. But everything else could have been put into better hands. The animation is putrid, the story falls apart in the end, and the entire show seems to run on logic exclusive to the hippie that conceived it.
Blue Gender is an interesting series, but has some noticeable flaws. The setting and story are very convincing and interesting, both which allow you to wrap yourself in the post-apocalyptic world they're in. I strongly praise the character development, which is the show's strongest aspect. However, the show flops out given the animation is very outdated and not much to look at. Many segments in the story feel forced and out of place, and the ending could have been done a lot better.
And that's bedtime. Night, Shamu.
I wonder if this will actually work.
Jason! My hindsight is all undoing! Wake up!
Yes, Trevor.
How may I help you?
Jason, you gotta hide me. I want to see if burning enough CO2 emissions would cause the blue to appear for real. And they did. And now they're killing people and balling them up. And I played soccer using your neighbors, and balls made out of people get creepy to look at after a while, so I ran up here before the blue could get me, and...
My goodness gracious! Is that one behind you there?
Jason, there weren't any blue behind me, but they're coming up the stairs. Hey, better sit and lock your door. Jason, hey, there's a big red person. Ow! Go! Their teeth are sharper in person too. Go, the pain! Why are they called blue if most of them are green? Ow! No!